everyone, I'm Janelle Foskett, the editor-in-chief of FireRescue1.com. Thanks for listening in today to get a few resources for how to manage some of the top questions and concerns related to the coronavirus pandemic. As a little background, we asked the Fire Rescue 1 community, what is your biggest COVID-19 related concern? The poll results, which you can see on the screen, were fairly evenly divided among being infected, lack of PPE, and infecting others. Less of a response on some of the other options, being quarantined or isolated, inadequate staffing, and time away from family. We have several articles to tackle each of these stressors, and I'd like to share a few of these with you so you're aware of some of the resources available on Fire Rescue 1. The link to all of these articles will be available at the end of this short presentation. All right, let's get started with stressor number 1, being infected. Senior Captain Chris Del Bello wrote a great article called Company Officer COVID-19 Advice, Time, Distancing, and Shielding. Del Bello shares best practices for patient interactions, communications with the dispatch center, PPE, and decontamination of the rig. In another article, firefighter Aaron Zamzow, who is also a personal trainer, writes about how first responders can boost their immunity during this pandemic. Aaron offers 6 tips. Wash your hands, drink plenty of fluids, exercise, eat fruits, vegetables, and protein, get rest and sleep, and finally, avoid sugar. Aaron also wrote this article called The Socially Distanced Workout, 7 Exercises Firefighters Can Do Anywhere, which is certainly quite helpful right now. When it comes to stressor number 2, lack of PPE, Rachel Engel put together a really helpful piece called 11 Unlikely Sources of PPE Donations to help firefighters access the PPE is so hard to find right now. Some of those sources include vocational schools, building supply companies and tool suppliers, dental offices, and tattoo shops. Our resource page also includes a link to the CDC's PPE usage calculator tool, which is proving to be really essential right now. Stressor number 3 is infecting others. We've got a comprehensive article here called How Can I Protect My Family from COVID-19, in which Emily Pierce shares a 12-step process to protect your home and family after a shift. We've also included a downloadable checklist that you can print out and hang by the door to your garage or wherever it is that you enter your home. Here's a quick sneak peek at the checklist. And we also asked fire service leaders to share the measures they're using at their departments to minimize transmission, and we compiled their responses for you in a separate article. Stressor number 4 is being quarantined or isolated. Fire Chief Mark Bayshore breaks down the differences between quarantine and isolation in this article. We've certainly seen the 2 extremes, departments that immediately took entire shifts out of service when there was an exposure, even without confirmation, and then the departments that had crews continuing to provide service after exposure if they weren't exhibiting signs or symptoms, which they really wouldn't for 5 or so days. In this article, Mark breaks down how it works in his area and how it's actually quite different in neighboring jurisdictions. On a lighter note for quarantining, here we have an article by IAFC President Gary Ludwig, and then we also have a partner article by Lexipol's own Mike Vader that shares some movies and books to help firefighters pass the time if they are indeed quarantined and looking for some quality entertainment that's also educational. Stressor number 5 is inadequate staffing. This is certainly a big issue with so many firefighters who are initially quarantined or sick. We've got several really useful articles on this topic, but one I want to point out is this one by Fire Chief Jason Coy. It's called COVID-19 Staffing Impacts, How First Responders Can Continue to Serve. And he discusses a few options for recalling members and even looking for community volunteers. He details a multi-step plan to handle the influx of people offering their services as well. Lastly, stressor number 6 is time away from family. And here Keith Padgett wrote a really nice piece called Caring for Our Own During COVID-19, How to Support Members and Their Families. Certainly, time away from family can lead to increased stress, and some firefighter parents may need help with childcare options And Keith offers some great suggestions about how to help our brothers and sisters. All of the articles I've discussed here and many more can be found in the article that I showed at the very beginning called Addressing Your Concerns, COVID-19 Resources for Firefighters. The article also includes general stress management resources and even some uplifting news too. I hope you found this discussion helpful in directing you to some of our COVID-19 resources. Please continue to check firerescue1.com for additional information. We are here for you during this national emergency, and we greatly appreciate everything you are doing to keep your community safe. Take care.